Sure, no problem. Good to see you. Yeah. Glad to be here. It's been a while.
I was afraid about to get to the building.
I figured it out.
Okay. So it's threw me after I got you arranged it.
You did? It's a pretty rich. Nice.
So Sharon called on me off.
Sounds good. I appreciate it. I'll mention the thing about postponing for a day.
Spread them out. Okay, let's go ahead and hand it on the plate. No security. The photos still might be up on the
Could be. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I'd like to call the regular meeting for the Sumter County Council for Tuesday, September 14th to order. Ms. V, would you please give us an invocation, and may we all stand and remain standing for the pledge of allegiance.
Let us pray. Our dear kind Heavenly Father, we do acknowledge you as the one in whom we live and move and have our being. We thank you for allowing this council to come together today for all the previous meetings and for this one, the regular meeting of the county council. We thank you for all of our community members who are able to join us and to have interest in local government. As we begin this meeting, we invite your presence and ask that you abide with us and help us to make decisions that are pleasing in your sight. We ask you to continue to bless our men and women in uniform. Bless them, especially those who are serving in harm's way. Let them know that they are not forgotten. And we ask that you continue to bless our county administrator as he administers all the operations of this government that we have appointed him to govern. And we ask that you help us as a council to always love each other and to consider the needs of the entire community as if they belong to us individually. And as we go through this agenda and come to the end, we ask that you be with everyone as they return to their destinations. These and all blessings we thank and ask in the precious name of our Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Ms. V?
Ms. Bird, did you want me to announce? Yes. Veteran, U.S. Marine Corps veteran Harry L Thompson served our country in Vietnam. He was wounded in battle, chapter number 815 in Sumter. He's married to L Thompson, the love of his life, and they have one son, a daughter-in-law, and a one beautiful granddaughter who is the joy of his life. He currently lives in County Council District 3. Thank you for your service.
Pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
be seated. Ms. Brandon, are there any changes to the agenda?
Yes, sir. We would like to have one change to the agenda. Under new business, there's a recognition of Lieutenant Audrey Benjamin as South Carolina Jail Administrator Supervisor of the Year. If we could move that up, please, council, after number 5.
Move approval of the amended agenda.
Second. Moved by Mr. Baker, seconded by Mr. Byrd, that we approve the amended agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The amended agenda is adopted. I have a motion to approve the minutes from our regular meeting for Tuesday, August 24th, and the special meeting of County Council on August 24th. Moved by Mr. Bacon.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Baker. Any discussion? All hearing none, all in favor of approving our minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
Pursuant to the change, Director Ray, present, are you going to introduce? Please proceed to the podium.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I am Patricia Ray, Major of the Sumter County Sheriff's Office Detention Center. I'd like to introduce to you Lieutenant Audrey Benjamin. Did she come up with you?
Yes.
Lieutenant Audrey Benjamin is assigned as a lieutenant to oversee Delta Shift. Her length of employment as detention officer is 16 years. She was promoted to lieutenant in November of 2020 and has taken responsibility as top priority. And she works diligently each day with her shift members in order to ensure a safe, secure, and humane environment for our inmates. Lieutenant Benjamin has tackled this role head on and has not shied away from her assignment of duties. She demonstrates a take charge attitude. When it comes to her leadership style, she is always one of the first to take charge in handling any incidents within the facility. She does a superb job and demonstrates accurate and responsible attention to detail during the performance of her duties. Her communication skills is superb, and she deals well with her fellow co-workers and the citizens alike who frequent the detention center. Lieutenant Benjamin works tirelessly in order to assist her fellow co-workers by working overtime on opposite shifts, and she is a forefront of always making personal sacrifices of her time to make sure that the safety of the officers come first. I'd like to add that Lieutenant Benjamin comes in before her normal operating hours and prepares for the day, making sure every task at hand runs smoothly without error. She is always pleasant, dependable, willing to lend a hand, and has a great deal of respect and compassion for the profession of corrections. Lieutenant Benjamin has been instrumental over the years in the on-job training that takes countless numbers of officers that are employed by the agency, and she takes pride in being able to contribute to the matter. She is weapon certified, NCIC certified, TASER certified, CPR certified. She attends the victim support services training, and she has attended various training classes over the years, with one being mid-level management. These are all the reasons that she is nominated for the supervisor of the year by the Jail Association of South Carolina.
Congratulations, Lieutenant. And thank you, Director Ray.
Yes, sir.
On behalf of County Council, I'd like to present you Lieutenant Benjamin with this small token of our appreciation for your work and dedication at the jail and for your nomination as well. Thank you. agenda, land use matters and rezoning requests. Ms. Rubin, RZ 2114, third reading.
There have been no changes to this request since second reading.
Move for approval, third reading. It's been moved by Mr. Byrd, seconded by Mr. Baker, that we have third reading on RZ 2114. Any discussion? Hearing one, all in favor for third reading? Aye. All opposed? Hearing none, RZ 2114 is approved. Ordinance Amendment 2104, Ms. Rubin.
There have been no changes to this request since second reading.
Move for approval. Second. We have a motion by Mr. Baker, a second by Mr. Edens to approve ordinance amendment 2104. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of approving OA 2104, please say aye. Aye. All opposed? Ordinance amendment 2104 is approved. Ordinance number 21959. I think Ms. Franny Heiser, are you going to present this?
Yes, sir. Good evening. It's great to be with y'all. Because of COVID, I haven't actually been in your new chambers in this beautiful location. And thank y'all for letting me be with y'all tonight. The ordinance that we have for your consideration on second reading and public hearing is an ordinance to issue a water works revenue bond that will refinance existing debt of the Wedgefield-Stateburg Rural Community Water District. Some time ago, the county took over that water district, and there are 3 bonds outstanding from, I think it's 93, 2002, 2003. Those are USDA loans, and the 2 things about USDA, one is that they can mature over 40 years, which is a very long period of time. The other is that at the time, the interest rates are very favorable. However, since the early 2000s, interest rates have come down. So the purpose of this bond is to consolidate and refinance the 3 existing USDA loans. You will be able to get a lower interest rate, and will be able to shorten the term of the debt. The annual payment will be approximately the same, but over the life of the transaction, because of shortening the transaction, because of the lower interest rate, all in, you'll be saving gross over $350,000, and the net savings will be about $200,000. There also are some efficiencies in being able to have a bank purchase this debt. It'll be easier to make annual payments. I understand right now, literally, checks have to be written and hand delivered, and we'll be able to cut all of that out, and you'll be back with efficient management of this debt and at all in lower interest rates. I would point out that unlike a GO bond, the only revenue pledge for this this debt is the revenue from the water system. And that's why it's a revenue bond. It will not be a GO bond. It's just related to the water system. Mr. Chairman, I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Any questions of Ms. Heiser? Before council takes a vote on second reading, we will have a public hearing.
If I could make one request before I leave the podium. Assuming y'all give this second reading tonight, we would ask that you consider deferring third reading for 1 or 2 meetings. And the reason for that is we would like to put a request for proposals out to banks, and that process will take about 3 weeks. We'll get the bids back in, and if there are any special conditions or any terms that the bank might want in the ordinance, you'd be able to incorporate that at third reading. And we're not really, there's no rush to do this, so that if that works for y'all, I think it would give us the opportunity to make sure that we can accommodate the best bid. And if it's got new additional features, we'd be able to put those in your ordinance.
Absolutely.
Thank y'all very much.
Oh, okay, Ms. Heiser, thank you.
Thank you.
You may be seated. Now declare the public hearing for ordinance 21959 to be open. Anyone wishing to speak for or against this ordinance authorizing the issuance and the sale of water rate system refunding revenue bonds? Public hearing is closed. And for approval. Have a motion by Mr. Baker, second by Mr. Byrd, to approve second reading ordinance number 21-959. Any discussion? Hearing one, all in favor of approving ordinance 21-959, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Item number 2 under new business, Sumter County Hazard Mitigation Plan Yearly Progress Report. Ms. Ruthman again, I think that's you.
Council should have been provided a copy of the annual progress report on our hazard mitigation plan. As part of our participation in the FEMA Community Rating System program, which gives everybody in our community who seeks to have flood insurance a discount on their premiums, we go through an annual recertification process, and as part of that recertification process, we have to show them what progress we've done towards our mitigation goals in the multi-hazard mitigation plan. So that's what this report's for. We have already submitted it to the ISO auditors, and they have it under review. This is just a procedural process. Now that it's been released to county council, we also have given this to city council because we've done the same thing for them. It is also available for the public to view if they would like on the planning department's webpage through sumtersc.gov. I'm happy to answer any questions that you guys have, but it really is just a procedural matter, and you'll see it probably every year moving forward.
Any questions on Ms. Rubin? Thank you, Ms. Rubin. Item number 3, our annual update from Midlands Fatherhood Coalition. I have on the agenda Mr. Terrence Whitfield and Mr. Andrew Thompson. Hey, Mr. Whitfield.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the Sumter County Council and other officials. I'm Terrence Whitfield, site manager with Midlands Fatherhood Sumter. First, I want to thank you all for all the support that you've given us over the years. Through your support, we wanted to give you an update on the numbers that we've reached since our inception here in Sumter up until the year, I think, about 2019, 2020. So Andrew Thompson, our quality data man, he's going to give you a brief summary of all the numbers that we've reached thus far.
So like Terrence said, we just want to give you a quick update, and I'm the data and quality manager. So I'm in charge of all data for Midlands through all 3 of our sites. So these numbers are strictly from the Sumter office from 2018 through 2020, or no, 2016 through 2020. So I wanted to start with something that kind of shows what we're doing to get people back into the community and boost the economy here, first and foremost, which is getting people employed. So since 2016, 489 people have come through our program and either gotten employment or gotten a better paying job, boosting that money back into the local economy. Because most jobs that we get for participants are here in Sumter. And we had 282 completing job skills training to lead them into a better path for a career. If you could, family outcomes. So the reason we exist is to provide a space for fathers to become more involved with their children and with the mother. So we had 212 fathers increase the time that they have spent with their kids, and 182 have improved, or 183 have improved the relationship with the mother that had come in to the program saying that they had either a neutral or a hostile relationship with the mother themselves. We had 42 participants from DSS since 2019 that have come into our program that were referred as part of their CPS parenting plan. Out of those 42, 41 have either kept the kids in the home or gotten their kids back. So that is about a 98% success rate that we have when it comes to DSS participants. Our total number is 958 served since 2016. And that has affected 2,437 children in the area. So 2,437 kids now have a better relationship with their father because of what we do. And the last bit of information that I pulled that I thought was interesting is the total money of child support that's been paid through our participants and the amount that's been saved in the alternative to incarceration program that we offer. So $656,564 have been paid in child support over the last 4 years, and we've saved the county $5,160,960 in incarceration costs. So that is some that we've been providing to this community since 2016, since we opened. We've provided that across the state at many of our other locations, saving not only the county but the state money in our incarceration costs, because we believe that if you incarcerate a father for non-payment of child support, you're not going to get any money out of that father anyway, and it's not helping them better their relationship with their kids. So as part of all of this, we have many other metrics that we track, but these are the top 5 that we thought would be most impactful here. If you have any questions, I'm the data guy, so I can answer most of them.
No, I was just glad, I was getting ready to ask you about the child support and the jail. I'm glad to see that at the end there.
Yes.
That was a big one for me. I hate to see these young men just like they were in a revolving door with that jail over there. So I appreciate y'all's work that you're doing with that.
I used to work in child support, so I left and then came to work for Father.
Thank you.
And we thank you all for your support. One other thing, we do have a career fair that's coming up next week. It's airing on the radio now, so we want to employ even more people within the county as well as within our programs. Thank you.
Mr. Whitfield and Mr. Costa, thank you for your presentation. Item number 4, ordinance number 21960, Mr. Bryant.
Mr. Chairman, members of council, 21960 is an emergency ordinance to put a moratorium on applications for drinking places and public event facilities. Now, you have the ordinance before you, and you have the whereas clauses that reference drinking places and how they are come under a particular section of the Standard Industrial Classification Code, 5813, and then you have the special event facility under Classification Code 7299. I believe Ms. Blanding provided to you copies of those. This is what we're using for a definition for a drinking place. This is what we're using for a definition of a special events facility. It's just a list of places. So you can see both these definitions are inadequate at best, given the current circumstances. So you have on your desk a document that looks like this. It was placed out earlier today, and it shows the proposed definitions of drinking places, bottle club, nightclub, special event facility. This is just a start. Staff has started working on this problem that's created by these insufficient definitions that we have. And then you have an introduction to the proposal to amend the zoning ordinance, and that red line is attached there too. So you can see that work has already begun to amend the zoning ordinance to address these different types of organizations or facilities based on the new definitions. So that's the status of the work that's gone into this so far. But the ordinance itself would put a thumb on any existing or new applications. Special event facilities or event venues are establishments that rent space for a fee to individuals or organizations for special events such as weddings, receptions, family reunions, class reunions, and that sort of stuff, birthday parties. Special event facilities and event venues are not properly classified in the Standard Industrial Classification Manual. That's why we need a better definition of what that really means. Staff has seen an increased number of business license applications for special event facilities. That's because some facilities licensed as special event facilities seem to be essentially operating as nightclubs. That is, people are going there having a good time night after night after night. It's not based on any special event like a birthday. And even though the place isn't selling alcohol, the patrons are consuming alcohol because they're bringing their own. It's a BYOB establishment, which would be more like the bottle club definition you have on that page I passed out earlier. So what we have is a loophole in our zoning and development standards ordinance that allows these places to open up, charge people an entrance fee or cover charge to come in and bring their cooler, and they may have a DJ or a band, something like that, but it's not really a special event kind of place as you would find with the O'Donnell House, for example. So what the staff wants is to put a moratorium on applications for drinking places and applications for special event facilities until we can get this, the definitions further refined through the development board, is the planning commission, and then back to you for final approval. So the process is underway. What's going on is people are applying to these special event clubs, even if they get turned down for the state ABC license to sell. They say, well, I'll just open up a special event club. And then another fellow, just recently, who applied for a drinking place, was turned down because the special exception application was disapproved. He turned immediately around and applied for a special event facility. So you see what's going on. Now, I want to ask at this point for Major Stewart to come up and address this, because what he's going to tell you is these alleged special event facilities are putting a burden on law enforcement. And I think he's passed out something for your review that's on your desk, and I'll let him refer to that. Major Stewart.
Mr. Chairman, council members, Major Stewart on behalf of Sheriff Dennis and Chief Nathan Gardner, who could not make it this evening. The Sheriff's Office does wholeheartedly support the Planning Commission's request until the Commission and the Council can issue a more descriptive definition of these specific terms. The handouts that you have received, if you will take a moment to look at them, give an example of one particular club that is an event hall per se, but in operating as a de facto nightclub. If you can see the advertisements on there, this packet includes just a few of some recent advertisements of a particular business, all from the same promoter, all with the same icons down in the bottom corner of the flyer, which does represent, in fact, a club. And if you look at the last page of the license, you'll see a copy of an event license where it specifically says wedding receptions, birthday parties, baby showers, and other parties' receptions. And these advertisements that you see are definitely not notices for a birthday party, a baby shower, or a wedding reception. The photos included in your packet, also attached, are from a recent event at a local establishment, showing an extremely long line of cars blocking traffic, waiting to enter a business where the parking lot is already full. And note the time is 2:07 a.m., which if they had a regular license, they would already have to be closed anyway. Other examples include facilities such as Center Stage, which is on Broad Street, which is since closed, and now an applicant, as just mentioned, who had a drinking establishment asked for a license. It was denied and immediately applied for a special events license instead. Under these current definitions, they don't meet one, so they go for the other. We do look forward to working with the council and the Planning Commission to help clarify these definitions.
Mr. Bryan, how will this impact any businesses that are already operating?
So if they already have their license, they will continue to operate. So this is going to address any new applications, those that have not yet been approved.
Okay, so it's just for new applications.
Yes.
So the ring falls on the just and the unjust. So anybody with legitimate business will be denied now.
I'm sorry?
So anybody with a legitimate business they will open up tomorrow will be denied.
For a period of time.
What's that period of time?
Well, I think 60 days of emergency ordinance. I think that's in the ordinance, I believe.
And we don't have any other law enforcement remedy at this time? SLED or anybody?
We just like to get the definitions firmed up so that when people apply for a special facility permit, they know what they will and will not be able to do. If you want up a bottle club, then they can up a bottle club, and there can be some requirements. So we need to allow people to understand what it is they're applying for and understand what they will and not be able to do. It's unfortunate there will be some law-abiding citizens whose application will be held up for a while, but that's the price we pay or putting a thumb on those who are looking for a loophole in our existing law.
I struggle with moratoriums anytime you do that. This was a tough one. Okay, maybe. All right, what is the, it's a struggle. I think we need to send this to committee first. I like that. We should have brought it to committee. Let's hash out committee first. I think that was the best proper place for it. And we could ask some more questions then instead of an open session.
Well, there's plenty of time to address the issues. You see, staff has already put a good bit of time into it, proposed definitions, proposed changes to the zoning and development standards ordinance. It's not like this is just getting started. A good bit of time has been spent on it. Good conversations been had between Ms. Rudman, Ms. Ward, and me about how to go about this.
I'm well aware of the problem.
Right. So we have some time, and just because it's going to go to the planning commission first, that doesn't mean that any member of the county council is stopped from approaching me or Ms. Rudman or the sheriff to make suggestions or ask questions. I mean, we expect to have conversation about it, but we would really like to put a stop to any existing applications right now before they go to, for example, the Board of Zoning Appeals or a special exception.
Is it already on the planning commission's agenda?
Yes, sir, it will be on planning commission's agenda next
With that being said,
Next Wednesday, yes. Okay.
is there a possibility that it will take less than the 60 days?
That's possible, but remember, a zoning ordinance amendment takes 3 readings.
Yes, we get.
The first reading will be at our next meeting.
Could theoretically be at our next meeting.
But I'd rather go to committee with that. I don't mind more.
Maybe 40 days.
We think we can get it done in 60 days. It might be less. We think we can get it done.
Is any other applications in the pipeline now that you know of?
There is that one for special events facility at the place where the special exception application for a drinking place was denied. That is currently in the planning commission staff office. And we'd like to have that not go to the Board of Zoning Appeals or to the staff.
Can I get a nod from back of the room?
Yeah.
Well, in my motion, I'll make a motion to approve the 60-day moratorium, but they send this to committee first, the ordinance itself. That's my motion.
But not to delay going to planning commission.
Oh, no, I don't plan, but it's got to come through committee, the council committee first. Because a lot of this, the rough draft I saw, I wasn't really comfortable with a lot of the wording in that rough draft to start with. That's the only reason I'd like to see it come to council's land use committee, but I will approve the moratorium this time. We have a motion by Mr. Bird.
Second.
Second by Mr. Baker. Any discussion?
Well, I just want to say that we've done moratoriums in the past and cognizant of it.
Any further discussion? Got a motion and have a second. No further discussion. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passes, Mr. President. Mr. Brian, resolution 2108.
Yes, sir. Resolution 2108 is just an acknowledgement that the FEMA tax agreement that we originally had with Porter Fabrications of Sumter LLC is still existing and binding, even though that company merged with Maysteel, and so they are now known as Maysteel Porters LLC. This is a request that came from the accounting firm for Maysteel Porters. They wanted this so that when they filed a tax return, the South Carolina Department of Revenue would recognize that the FEMA tax is still valid.
Any questions, Mr. Brian? Move for approval.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Baker, seconded by Mr. Eames, that we approve resolution supporting the reaffirmation of the FEMA agreement. Any discussion? Anyone all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Resolution 2108 passes. Ordinance number 21961. First reading of an ordinance to require individuals to wear face coverings in the county of Sumter, South Carolina. Mr. Chairman, I've made this recommendation based on what has been going on in this country, in the state, and in the city or county of Sumter. The current COVID surge cases 14,011, hospitalizations 544, and deaths 245, along with the impact of the virus on children in public education facilities, require immediate action. Dr. Elizabeth Mack, Chief of Pediatric Critical Care with the Medical University of South Carolina, said, "We are in a bad situation. Our COVID hospitalizations among children are up. The number of children requiring ICU are up. The number of children in ICU with COVID that are requiring ventilations are up. So this is obviously a great concern to us." Dr. Deborah Greenhouse with Prism Health said, "Right now we have far too many kids catching the disease, especially now that our schools have opened and we are not taking the steps that we need to mitigate this. And because we have so many kids getting sick within it, some of these kids are ending up in hospitals. Some of those kids are ending up on intensive care units, and some of those kids, unfortunately, will pass away." On September 1, 2 Aiken County students died from COVID-19 complications. They were 9 and 11 years old. The main reason the virus, COVID-19, spreads is through talking, sneezing, and coughing. If there is any state in the country that should be considering masking, it should be the one with the highest COVID population per 10,000, and that is South Carolina. In Sumter County, which has the state's 4th lowest rate of vaccination completion and the 5th largest population, 12 or older, and therefore eligible to receive shots, 13,948 people tested positive for COVID-19, 544 have been hospitalized, 245 deaths. The Center for Disease Control Prevention, our country's leading health agency, still lists getting vaccinated and wearing masks among the most actions that we can take to protect ourselves. Therefore, Sumter County Council should consider passing a mask mandate ordinance to reduce the spread of COVID-19 by unvaccinated people. We had a meeting today with our Public Safety Committee. And as a result of that committee, it was determined that there was some legal matters that need to be cleared up and discussed before we move forward with this ordinance. So therefore, Mr. Chairman, I'm going to ask that this ordinance right now be deferred until we get all of the medical information and legal requirements that we need. So when we bring this ordinance back, we shouldn't have those problems facing us and those situations should occur. So right now, I'm asking that we defer this ordinance to a later date. Thank you.
Is that your motion?
That's my motion, that we defer to a later date.
We have a motion from Mr. Bateman that we defer first reading
motion by Mr. Baton and a second by Mr. McGaney that we defer. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Motion is deferred. Ordinance 21-962, first reading. Ordinance to require employees of Sumter County to receive the available vaccination prior to January 1st, 2022. What's the wishes of council? Hearing none. Next item on the agenda. Committee reports. Public Safety Committee meeting. Mr. Washington.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We held our Public Safety Committee meeting this afternoon, and we received some information from the Sumter Sheriff's Department on mass proceedings, legal ramifications, and had some spirited discussion about masking. We concluded the meeting with unanimous agreement that we would ask our legal teams to explore this issue a little bit more and come back to us with conclusive and comprehensive reports, which would then sort of guide council with further action. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Washington. Internal Affairs, Mr. Byrd.
Mr. Chairman, Internal Affairs Committee met, all members present, made a following motion as second to appoint Kevin Robinson to the Crystal Lakes Golf Course Advisory Board.
We have a motion and a second to make the appointment to the golf club advisory board. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion is carried. That concludes my report. Thank you, Mr. Byrd. The Fiscal Tax and Property Committee did meet today. All members were present. We received the presentation from the Economic Development Team. It was for information only. No action was taken. Technology and Personnel Committee meeting again.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The Technology and Personnel Committee met this afternoon, and all members were present, as well as all council members. We had some discussions in executive session, and at this time it was just for information only, and we have no information or any actions that are required at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Gaines.
Thank you.
We did have a special meeting of Sumter County Council today prior to our regular meeting. We received a staff report from Ms. Lorraine Dennis and Beth Rogers. Council did approve for staff to move forward with approving the application for our ARP funds. And we also approved for the county attorney to send a letter to the South Carolina Attorney General in reference to the South Carolina opioid litigation. Come now to our reports of council members from any other meetings, trainings, and our conferences.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Mr. Washington.
If I could have a minute. The council has heard me talk about before the 51 miles of dirt roads in my district, and I know the county administrator is aware of this, but I get several calls a day about roads. And so I've been meeting with the county administrator to talk about that issue. And I've sort of dug down, and what I've concluded is that, at least in District 1, I'm not sure about the other districts, but we have a public relations issue in the district. And I say that because the number of calls I get a day about roads should be going to Public Works. But citizens have not felt comfortable calling Public Works for a variety of reasons that I won't go into tonight. But I am happy to report that we do have a new Public Works director, and I have reached out to her through the county administrator, and I will be meeting with the both of them. And I will be coming back to council with a proposal, a comprehensive proposal with changes to adjust how we interact with our citizens so they feel comfortable interacting with Public Works and getting a response in an appropriate time, which leads me to my last point. Those responses may require funding because of how we're set up. Sometimes we're not able to move as quickly as we should be able to move for a county this size. So we may have to make some adjustments in terms of machinery, in terms of personnel. But these are things that I know that this council will support when I come back to you, not because I'm proposing it, but because it is a basic service. And I think we're all understanding now what we mean when we say basic services people are due. So I just want to put the council on notice. It's something I'm working with Mr. Mixon and Ms. Hyatt, and I'll be coming back with a plan and possible request for funding. And Mr. Mixon, thank you for your work in this regard. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Bush. Monthly reports, Mrs. Green.
Yes, sir. The Airport Commission monthly report is in your packet, and also the Sheriff's Office monthly report is in your packet. And the community update is on the 21st, and I did not put the picture in there, but Mr. Baker's picture was updated.
Thank you.
And the Veteran Affairs Office information is in there. It's talking about the upcoming Veterans Day parade. So if any council member is interested in participating, please let me know so I can get that paper taken care of and fill out the application for the Veterans Day parade. Additionally, the COVID report should be in there. It didn't come up just then, but I may have to pull that back up off the computer. And Fall Feast is this week. Please don't forget that if you're interested in participating. And last but not least, the Sheriff's Department has a newsletter, and it will be coming out once a month. And it's good reads. And if you have any information, I'm sure I'm getting Ms. Lumpkins mixed up with the sheriff's staff person. But anyway, they're all working together on getting this stuff out. Right? Thanks. Ms. Felicia Dukes is the person you need to contact, is who I was trying to say. Thank you.
Mr. Mason, County Administrator.
Mr. Chair, Council, just briefly, if it's okay, I'd like to elaborate a little bit on the work that Council did today in regards to the ARP funding for the members of the community that may not have been participants in that meeting. So Council tonight approved $500,000 for what we will call community mini grants in increments of $15,000. So starting next Monday, you will have an opportunity to apply online with Sumter County for those mini grants. They will be graded by staff and then awarded with the approval of county council. So please encourage everybody. The eligibility criteria is also online, but there's nonprofits, churches, those folks that have been doing community work in regards to COVID will have an opportunity to get reimbursed for that effort. So I just wanted to inform the public, and I'm sure there'll be more information to follow, but again, look for that information to be available on our website next week, and then we'll have a period where we'll be accepting those applications. That's all I have, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Nixon.
Mr. Chairman, I would just like to ask Mr. Nixon to comment on ordinance number 21962, the one that we discussed in committee that I didn't bring up just now, as to why we might defer that action because of some articles with OSHA and so forth.
Yes, sir, Mr. Baker, glad to. We discussed in our committee, our personnel committee, many of you may be following the executive order by our president to require employees to be vaccinated. I believe it's for employers with over 100 personnel, which Sumter County would qualify. There's additional information we anticipate that will follow primarily through OSHA over the next 4 to 6 weeks that will actually determine the guidelines and the process by which people will have to comply. So we've asked council to defer any action at this time until we can get additional information.
Thank you, Mr. Nixon.
Okay, come down to our public comment portion of our agenda. Citizens desiring to speak are limited to no more than 3 minutes. Comments are to be made through the chairman. Anyone wishing to address council, please proceed to the podium. Please state your name for the record, and I declare the public comment portion of our meeting to be open.
My name is Rodney Brunson. I have a trailer, and my address is 5450 Raymond Jenkins Street. And I would like to request assist in grants, repair grant. I had a stroke, so I can't talk, but she'll help me out.
Yes, good evening, everyone.
Yes, ma'am.
This is Rodney Brunson. He lives at 5450 Raymond Jenkins Street, Sumter, South Carolina, 29153. He pays his taxes and he votes. And he has a trailer that is in need of much repairs. And his income is very low, so he is asking that he be able to receive some grant to be able to fix it up. And that will mean a lot to him. Instead of being homeless, he'll have someplace to stay.
Thank you. Lady.
Hello, my name is L Thompson, and I'm here to see if I can get some help to one in the mobile home. Retirement. My address is 2810 Dock Road, Sumter, South Carolina, 29153. And I own my home. And what it is, I had problem with trying to get a roofing did on my home, and then before I got that, I had a lot of damage did otherwise in the home. And then I was trying to get help with what damage the roofing did after I had the inside roof to the house. And I came in to see if I could get help toward that.
Thank you, Ms. Lee.
evening, Mr. Chairman, Chairman and council meeting members. My name is Frank Kelly. I live in Westfield. And since I moved back there, I was born here in Sumter County, but I moved back here in 2010. And I want to talk a little bit about the road problem. I live on Arthurdale Road, 6795 Arthurdale Road. And as I say, I was born and raised there. The road is in terrible shape now. It wasn't that way when I was coming up. I don't know whether the guys don't know what they're doing or what, but I spoke to someone and I've been over to the old courthouse where they sent me. But all I got was to run around. But the road is in terrible condition, especially when it rains. Arthurdale Road and Tilton Church Road. Tilton Church Road is not as bad as Arthurdale Road, but they pay a part of it. But they don't even cut the side of the road anymore. I don't know when the last anybody been out there did that. And I'm just asking on behalf of the other people that live in that area, could you please try and do something about it? Because at least sometimes we can't even get out from any of the big rain. We definitely need some help. And I would appreciate any help that you all can do. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kelly.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Brenda C. Williams. I am a physician here in Sumter, South Carolina. I'm here with my husband, Dr. Joseph Williams. We moved to Sumter in 1982, so that's 39 years, close to 40 years. And we've been blessed and honored and privileged to the point we're in. Our organization, we formed a 501c3 nonprofit charitable organization called the Family Unit Incorporated. We operate actually out of our own pockets by the grace of God. And we've been able to reach way out into the community of impoverished people, people living in poverty and despair. And Sumter County is loaded with impoverished people who live in really bad situations. Homes that have roofs that are falling apart, water inundated the whole homes with mold and mildew, ceilings that are caving in, floors that are caving in, toilets falling through the floor, tubs. People can't take a bath because they don't have hot water because of all kinds of problems. And we've been contacted by some wonderful people, several of whom showed up tonight, which is a real blessing. People who have never been to council meetings before, now coming out, and we are so happy. They are voters, many of whom are retired with medical problems, and we see a lot of people who've been infected by COVID. We have a little free clinic my husband and I opened up in the height of the COVID pandemic. We have a free medical clinic for folks that don't have insurance, who are between 18 and 64. So I said those words to say this. The family unit is well accustomed to working with folk in poverty. It was mentioned that the Sumter United Ministries earlier this evening provides services, and they do some great work. Yes, they do, helping people with housing and paying bills to keep folks from being evicted from homes, but so does the family unit. Right now, as a matter of fact, we were able to jump in to help a lady whose home has 2 ceilings that have caved in since June because the roof does not function normally. Sumter United Ministries wasn't able to help out with that. Community Development Grant Program wasn't able to help out with that. Water Rate wasn't able to help out with that. Sandy Lynch's. So the Sumter County administration has a great responsibility as well as the city. I'll say that to say this. We thank you so much for allowing us to be in this community to do the services that we have rendered. And we are doing the best we can. So please, ma'am, please, sir, reach out to the poor. That $10 million that came from the American Rescue Plan Act that came to Sumter County, and 10 more will be coming soon, if God's willing. Please take a good portion of that money and dispense it among the poor. Thank you very kindly.
Thank you, Dr. Brunson. Anyone else wishing to speak to council? Hearing none, the public portion is closed. Move for adjournment. Second. Move to properly second that we adjourn. Discussion. All in favor of adjourning, please say aye. Thank you, everyone, for attending.
Thank you.